Okay, I want to do a video to review writing and graphing basic linear inequalities. I've had to raise my camera up a little bit, so if it seems to move as I write, I apologize. I want to show you how you would approach writing this sentence as an inequality. Here's what we do. Here's what I like to do. First of all, this right here represents what my inequality is going to be. Is less than or equal to. Usually it's found with the helping verb. So you have to know their English language just a little bit. Your helping verb here. Usually it's found with your helping verb. Is less than or equal to. That symbol is here. Less than or equal to. We all know what this stands for. This is the number 14. The sum. What does sum mean? Sum means we're going to add. Now what are we going to add? Let's go look and see. The sum of 6 and 3 times a number. So this conjunction shows you where you're going to put your plus sign. 6 and 3 times a number. Well, that looks like a multiplication sign. Sorry. Okay. So the only other thing I don't know what it is what does this mean? 3 times a number. Well, a number, you don't know what that is, so you can put any variable you would like. That's a variable we can put in. And times means to multiply. You're going to multiply 3 and n. So let's see if we can write this out as an inequality. 14 is less than or equal to, is less than or equal to the sum of 6 and 3 times the number. That's the best way to write that sentence as an inequality. Let's look at the next one. 1/5 of a number is more than. Ooh, look, there's that helping verb is more than. So is more than would be this symbol. And then 1/5 of a number k is more than 12. So more than 12. What does this mean in mathematics? It means to multiply. What are you going to multiply? 1/5 with a number k. So you're going to multiply 1/5 with a number k. 1/5 of a number is more than 12. There's the answer. Okay, the next one, 9 is greater than or equal to, so there's that helping verb is greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to, we know what 9 is. The difference, what's difference mean in mathematics? It means to subtract, the answer to a subtraction problem. And what are you subtracting? You're subtracting a number in 3. So sort of your subtraction sign goes where that conjunction is. So I'm subtracting a number in 3. So this time I'm going to make my number x. So it says 9 is greater than or equal to, the difference of a number in 3. The difference of a number in 3. There's the answer to that one. Here's the answer to this one. Here's the answer to this one. I broke my nail when I was getting ready for all this, so apologize for that crazy looking nail. Okay, let's look at the next one. Is k equal 5 a solution of k plus 2 greater than -1? Anytime you're asked that question, you're going to substitute. Will 5 satisfy this inequality? If you put 5 here, would that make this a true statement? Is 5 plus 2 greater than -1? 5 plus 2 is 7. Is 7 greater than -1? Yes. Yes, it is. So 5 is a solution of k plus 2 is greater than -1. Okay, so next we're going to graph those two inequalities on a number line. Okay, some things that you need to remember about that, or if you're just learning, some things that you need to know. On a number line, if you have this symbol or this symbol, you're going to put an open circle on the number that you're given. If you have this symbol or this symbol, you're going to put a closed or a filled-in circle on the number that you're given. So that's very important to remember on a number line. So as I look at this first one, I have x is greater than -1. I always put 0 in my number line, and then I put this number in relationship to where 0 is. So -1 is here. X is greater than -1. Well, greater falls in this category. That means I have an open circle. And then ask yourself, where on the number line are numbers greater than -1? Are they greater than -1 to the right of -1? Or are they greater than -1 to the left of -1? And if you think about it, numbers to the right of -1 are larger, and I'm not doing a very good job of shading in my number line. I just color over it in my pencil or something with a different color. So that would represent x is greater than -1. Let's look at this next one. Fix my papers. Okay, so for this next one, x is less than or equal to 4. So here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so less than or equal to falls in this category, less than or equal to. So that means I need a closed circle, solid circle, filled-in circle, whatever you want to call that. Okay, and then on my number line, where are numbers less than -4? Would that be to the, +4? Where are numbers less than +4? To the right of 4 or to the left of 4? And hopefully you said to the left. All of these numbers to the left of 4. Oh, so sorry, it's not very good. Are less than or equal to 4. I really do try to keep my shading on the number line itself, but when you're videoing, it's difficult to see what you're doing. There we go. I think I have another page that goes with this. Yes, got one more page and then I'll finish with this video. It says write an inequality that represents the graph. So this time we're going to actually go from the graph to what you were given here on these examples. You can use any variable that you want. It doesn't matter. X, Y, Z. It really doesn't matter. Typically we use X, but whichever you prefer is fine. So I'm going to put X, and then I've got to remember the little thing that I told you. If you have these two symbols, you're going to have an open circle. And then if you have this symbol or this symbol, you're going to have a closed circle. So that will help me when I'm deciding which symbol to use. Well, here I've got an open circle, so that means I'm going to have one of these two symbols. Do I have numbers shaded that are greater than 3 or less than 3? And look, 2 is shaded, 1 is shaded, 0 is shaded. Those numbers are less than 3, so x is less than 3 is the answer for that one. Okay, now let's look at this one. I shaded at, I didn't write the number for us, -2. So looking at -2, I have a closed circle. Do I have numbers that are shaded greater than or equal to -2 or less than or equal to -2? So let me put my variable. So really, you know you're going to have a variable and you know you're going to have that number. The only thing you have to decide is which of these symbols you're going to use. Well, we can narrow it down to this because it's a closed circle. And then hopefully once you narrow down to one of these two, you see that 0 is bigger than -2. 5 is bigger than -2, so we need greater than or equal to -2. Okay, looking at the next one, I know I'm going to have x, and I know I'm going to have -4. I know I have a closed circle, so it's one of these two. So are the numbers that are shaded, are they greater than or equal to -4 or less than or equal to -4? And hopefully you can see -5 is less than -4. -10 is less than -4, so it's less than or equal to. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to put my variable and my number. And then I know I'm going to have one of these two. Do I have numbers shaded greater than 4 or less than 4? And hopefully you see greater than 4. Next I have 1. Do I have okay, I have an open circle, so it's one of these two. Do I have numbers that are shaded greater than 1 or less than 1? And hopefully you see less than 1. And last one, I'm going to put my variable, and then I'm going to put -6. This is a solid circle or closed circle, so I'm going to have one of these two. Do I have numbers that are shaded greater than or equal to -6 or less than or equal to -6? And hopefully you see less than or equal to -6. That's it. Hope it helps.